Welcome to FlyQuiz, Literature Edition. Today we're diving into the dystopian world of George Orwell's 1984. In this quiz, you'll face 40 challenging questions that will test your knowledge on the novel's characters, themes, and pivotal moments. Let's start. What is the primary role of the Ministry of Truth in 1984? To spread propaganda and rewrite history. Who is the protagonist of 1984? Winston Smith. What does the term doublethink mean in the context of the novel? The ability to hold two contradictory beliefs simultaneously and accept both of them. What is the significance of Room 101? It is where individuals face their greatest fears. Who betrays Winston and Julia to the thought police? Mr. Charrington. What is the name of the forbidden book Winston reads? The Theory and Practice of Oligarchical Collectivism by Emmanuel Goldstein. What is the party's slogan? War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. What happens to Winston at the end of the novel? He is re-educated and accepts the party's ideology. What does the paperweight symbolize in the novel? The fragility and beauty of the past. What does the phrase 2 + 2 = 5 signify in the novel? The party's ability to manipulate truth and reality. What is the new name for what was once England in the world of 1984? Airstrip 1. What is the primary role of the party in Oceania? To enforce totalitarianism. What is the function of the telescreen in 1984? It displays state-sanctioned programs and conducts surveillance. Where does Winston write his secret diary? In a small alcove out of view of the telescreen. What are the three classes of people in Oceania? The inner party, the outer party, and the proles. What is the daily propaganda session called that citizens must watch? The 2 minutes hate. What is Winston's job at the Ministry of Truth? He rewrites historical documents. Which ministry deals with food, goods, and industry in Oceania? The Ministry of Plenty. What does it mean to be vaporized in the context of the novel? To be erased from existence and memory. Why does Winston initially suspect Julia of being a spy? She frequently appears near him in suspicious places. What does the note that Julia slips to Winston say? I love you. Where do Winston and Julia conduct their secret meetings? In a rented room above the antique shop. What is the Brotherhood in 1984? A resistance group against the party. Who gives Winston the book written by Emmanuel Goldstein? O'Brien. What major realization does Winston have while reading Goldstein's book? That the proles have the power to overthrow the party. What ultimately happens to Winston and Julia in their rented room? They are arrested by the thought police. What does Winston hope to achieve by reading Goldstein's book? To gain understanding and insight to overthrow the party. What do Winston and Julia believe the thought police cannot do to them? Make them betray each other mentally. Who oversees Winston's torture at the Ministry of Love? O'Brien. Who actually wrote the book, attributed to Emmanuel Goldstein? O'Brien and other Inner Circle members. What ultimately breaks Winston during his torture? His worst fear? Large hungry rats? What do Winston and Julia admit to each other after being released? They betrayed each other. What is Winston's final emotional state at the end of the novel? He loves Big Brother. What does O'Brien try to convince Winston about reality and truth? Reality is defined solely by the party. Who is Julia in 1984? Winston's co-worker and lover. What happens to Winston after he becomes involved with Julia? He is arrested and tortured. What is the main theme of 1984? The dangers of totalitarianism and mass surveillance. Which real-world regimes inspired George Orwell's 1984? Stalinist Russia and Nazi Germany. How does 1984 remain relevant in modern times? It It shows the timeless vulnerability of societies to manipulation of truths and facts. What is the significance of Big Brother in the novel? He is a mythical figurehead used by the party to maintain control. Thanks for taking on one of our fly quizzes. If you had fun or learned something new today, why not give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, and share it with your friends? And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on our latest quizzes. We'll see you in the next video.